And here I am, Nick the Non-Believer, sitting in front of the Bummer Bush, coming at you with some bummer of some information because there's been a lot of talk about our quarterback here, Deshawn Watson, and how good is he? And I feel like there's been a lot of misinformation floating around out there in the interwebs. So let me get you to what the heck they're even talking about. So there was one of the main pundits for our beloved team talking about Deshaun Watson was having such a great game this past week, week 4 here at the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're talking about, oh yeah, he had this great grade, and he was like the second best player, and yada yada yada. And I was like, not really understanding what they're even talking about. Were they watching the same game as we were? So I dug a little deeper. I found out where they were getting their information from, and that was from PFF.com, Pro Football Focus, and they do their grading in a very weird way. So, for example, they said, "Oh yeah, that long touchdown that he had to Amari Cooper, that one should have counted. So we're going to count it for him anyway. Even doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It doesn't show up in the QBR. They're like, okay, yeah, that counts. And oh yeah, another one, the one where he was about to throw a wide open touchdown to Amari Cooper, and the lineman missed their assignment, and he ended up throwing it not anywhere close to the wide open receiver. Well, let's just go ahead and count that one too. So I don't understand how these rainbows and butterflies are coming into this grade, but even so, I did find it. And I did find Deshaun Watson's passing grades, the weekly grades and the season grades. And for a little bit of context, let's go back a couple years here. So Deshaun Watson, his best year in Houston, he had a grade, according to this grading system, for the whole year in 2020 of 112. And then when you got fast forward a couple years, the last year in Cleveland, 2023, he had a yearly grade of 84. And we can all kind of wax poetic and decide how well do you think Deshaun Watson was playing in 2023, and then correlate that to how well his play is now. So just remember, in 2023, he had that grade of 84.3. In 2020, he had the grade of 112.4, so far better. Now let's get back to the 2024 season, and let's skip right to the action here. Week 4, he had a grade of 84.9, and this is what everyone was freaking out about, saying, oh man, he had such a great grade according to this website, 84.9, second best grade of the game, or it can't be second best grade in terms of the entire quarterback class, but even so, 84.9 from week 4, and 84.3 from the season 2023, when he only played a couple games. So I'd say that's not that great. That's just kind of average-ish and far lower, almost 20 points lower than the season that he played in Houston in 2020. So everyone's doing a lot of freaking out about these grades, saying that Deshaun had such a great game because his grade was so high. His grade was just about average for what it was last year and far below what he performed in Houston. So I'm not sure how that could be considered a great game. The rest of the games this year, let's look at the game just previous. Week 3 at home versus the Giants. And you know how inept he looked during that game. We had like about 4 drives in the fourth quarter where he couldn't really do anything. He got sacked 8 times. And yet his grade last week in week 3 was 89.5. So what are they doing with these grades? He had apparently a great week 3, grade 89, and then week 4, they think he did way better, but he got a grade of 84. I mean, it's just pretty silly to me that these people can't even understand simple statistics. Besides the fact that look at his yardage totals. I mean, his yardage totals here were not really nothing to write home about. You're looking at 176 yards, 196 yards, 186, 169. He hasn't even broken 200 yards yet this year. That is not that good. But I wasn't ready to stop there. I'm not ready to sit on my laurels and just take one website's word for it. So let's go on and look at a couple other ones. Let's see what we got here. The worldwide leader in sports. So this one is doing QBR. So a score of 100 is perfect. You think Deshaun Watson got a score of 100? No, he did not. This was apparently his best week of QBR in week 4, and he got a QBR of 36, which puts him in 23rd rank. 23rd ranked quarterback out of 32 teams. That's really not going to cut the mustard. Jared Goff had almost a perfect QBR of 95.1. Well, that's just for week 4. Let's look for the whole season, shall we? So again, we're looking at this QBR, not the rating, the QBR, where the perfect score is 100, according to Worldwide Leader in Sports. So the 2024 regular season, the season leader in terms of quarterback QBR is Josh Allen at 82.3. And where do you think Deshaun Watson sits on this list? Well, I'll give you a hint. There's only 31 qualifying quarterbacks, because in order to qualify, you have to play a minimum of 20 plays per game. So Deshaun Watson is number 31 out of 31. He actually did qualify because he plays at least 20 plays in all 4 games, but he is dead last in terms of QBR, according to the Worldwide Leader in Sports. And this is the guy that we say is our answer. This guy is a great football player, dead last, and even still dead last after week 4, where he wasn't really that terrible in terms of this thing, just more middle of the pack, sitting at 23rd. So how bad was his first 3 games that he's literally went from dead laster to still dead last? Okay, well, maybe that's a fluke. Maybe that one, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's go with another website here, something called The Ringer. Let's check out The Ringer. Let's see. They have QB grades, not QBR, so they're doing some sort of weird, complex geometrical patterns in the background to try to force the guys they liked in order to look better. The Ringer. Deshaun Watson, out of 32. They qualified, out of 33. They qualified 33 quarterbacks on this one. They didn't have the same stipulations. His QB grade is ranked 30th. 30th. Not that much better. Oh, maybe that was another fluke. Let's go over somewhere else. Let's look at the QB index, NFL QB index, and this comes from the Shield itself, from the internal monologue of the football agencies, and we're looking at a QB index. So they don't tell us a rating, perhaps they're just ranking them. And let's see how many we have to rank here. We have 32 quarterbacks to rank. Deshaun Watson, he went up 3 spots this week. He went up from 31st to 28th. So if you're talking about how Deshaun Watson had a great game and he had a great rating, and he should be lauded for his great play, I don't know what you're talking about. I literally just looked at the stats from 4 different places, and none of them are telling the same story that you're trying to tell yourself. It's just laughable to me that these pundits, they just have to find anything they can to make Deshaun Watson look good. And for what reason? Because we're paying him $200 plus million, and so your job's on the line because you have to make him look good no matter what he does, no matter if he's a stinky turd or if he's a stinky bum, which he has been both. And then when he comes out here and does an aggressively mediocre performance, you're just about ready to say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. All right, well, which one do you want to choose? 28th rank out of 32? 30th rank out of 32? 31st rank out of 31? Or this one doesn't even give me all the different quarterbacks. I had to dig in and drill down to try to find him directly. This last one is the one that you're trying to hang your head on. The rating of 84.9 when he got 89.5 last game. Not even an improvement, a disimprovement. And the whole year last year, rating of 84.3. This week, rating of 84.9. He's just not even better than last year. Just slightly worse. It's just laughable to me that people are bending themselves into knots, twisting themselves into pretzels to try to convince us that Deshaun Watson is some sort of epic elite quarterback, and he had some Pro Bowl type of a game last week, when anybody that can read numbers and comprehend them, clearly not true. So what do you guys think? What's Deshaun going to do next week? Is he going to put forth another humongous 84.9? rated game, and he's going to fail to get 200 yards, and is Amari Cooper going to drop passes and flub one for an interception? You know, you can't just say that these plays didn't exist. Every quarterback has plays they wanted to have back. Every quarterback has drop passes and things that didn't slide their way, but you can't include those in like the QBR. So every quarterback has to overcome obstacles. Sean is the only one where people are just apologizing for him, saying, "Oh, he doesn't need to overcome any obstacles. Yeah, it was stacked against him. It wasn't his fault. Let's just keep on paying him all this money because we already sunk the money in. So we're just trying to delude ourselves into thinking everything is fine. Don't look at the man behind the curtain." Hmm. Well, I do wonder what's going to happen with Amari Cooper, though. Now we're talking about trading. Trading again. So the guy was in his own head because we talked about trading him away earlier this year for Ayuk. So in order to get him get his head right, get him more focused on football, let's talk about trading him again for an injured Devontae Adams. Uh-huh. That ought to set his head on straight. And like no other quarterback has to deal with any drop passes, any penalties, any interceptions. I mean, we're just like inside our heads in here in Cleveland way too much here. Let's look at the numbers. Let's figure this out. Deshawn is bad. Don't try to say he's good. If he actually has a good game once in a while, maybe we'll revisit these numbers and see if his QBR actually improves. But so far, 31st out of 31 qualified quarterbacks. So that's been Nick the non-believer over here at the Bummer Bush. I'm really sick and tired of people singing his praises for no apparent reason. Why don't you go ahead and actually score a touchdown before you start spiking the football? Whomp. And I guess that's going to do it for today. I've been Nick the non-believer, right in front of the Bummer Bush. And this has been another exciting edition of Dog Fight Sports. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. All right, well, today's Thursday. We'll be seeing you again on Sunday, 1 o'clock game. I think we're going to have to shuffle on up to the Crafty Crab in Mayfield Heights. So come on down and join us, and we'll have a bit of a party where we'll be tossing around the pigskin and commiserating about our team, but having a little bit of fun instead. So I've been Nick. You've been wonderful. Catch you on Sunday. Deuce.